Hello and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Wark, and today my guest is Maddie Merton, who's the Vice President for Business and Retention and Expansion for the Economic Development Board for Tacoma and Pierce County. Welcome, Maddie.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So tell us about what you do. I know you work for the EDB, the Economic Development Board, which is a nonprofit that supports businesses and industry all across the county. It's a big job, and you focus on supporting those businesses. So what is it that you do?
So I meet with our businesses one-on-one to assist them with any of the challenges they might face with their business and offer potential solutions. So I could be assisting them on a wide range, including how to grow their business, access to financing, access to tax incentives, finding a new location, expanding their business, grants, workforce development, trade and exporting, you name it. We can connect on a variety of issues. So
you're like a consultant.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, and I would imagine that that you provide the service for free.
Absolutely.
Because the EDB here is to help our community thrive, our businesses from big ones to little ones. From international industries to mom and pop stores, to help them be effective here, because it's good for all of us.
Absolutely, and my role is to encourage them to grow and expand and hopefully create more jobs for our community. And that's really, what we're there to help support. And the businesses that I do see, we meet with them on a confidential basis, so it's all one-on-one business support and business services.
And so you're a nonprofit, and it's really cool that the service is provided for free. You have about 200 that you work with throughout the county, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I see the businesses every year, and they range from different sectors of our economy, from manufacturing, aerospace, healthcare, financial services, to some retail, and also diverse businesses as well. So,
but I would imagine that things like tax incentives or incentives that are available from local governments, there's a whole range of things that if I were a small business person or even a medium-sized business person, having somebody that could help me sort that out would be really valuable.
Yes, and that is something that we provide and I provide on an ongoing basis. A lot of the businesses that are in our community are not aware of all the resources, so having someone go out there and just share the opportunities and tell them that, hey, their business will qualify. At the end of the day, it'll save them money and potentially help them, grow that business. So
funding sources, funding breaks, but you also do other kinds of consulting. I would imagine the workforce part. I've been hearing about the Great Resignation and that things are evolving post-pandemic, like endemic stage or whatever we call it. That the workforce issues, are those rising in?
It's been the top two concerns, actually number one throughout all of the businesses that I am seeing. I spend, as I'm going out and meeting our clients, we spend the majority of the time talking about workforce.
Is that right?
Correct.
So workforce is one of those terms that has a lot of meanings. And so in this case, it has to do with finding and hiring good employees, right?
And so attracting talent, retaining talent, developing talent. So yes. Okay.
So what kind of advice do you generally find is useful?
So, I really, advise our business clients to, really look at how, they're approaching recruiting and to make sure that they're upping their game for recruiting, just because we're not in the same environment that we were in pre-pandemic. It's a different environment, and the talent that's out there is requiring different things. So, if they're having a hard time recruiting, I advise them to cast a wide net and look at some of the areas that they may not have looked at before, and really just to be more competitive with how they're structuring, the outreach to the community and outreach to other partners that could supply talent to them.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, it's very competitive. Yeah,
Yes.
so for example, maybe they've done things the way they always have and they're wondering, why isn't it working? I used to work. You might say, you need to enhance your website, or you need to go to the Workforce Development Council, or you might need to look at what you're paying because you're not paying what other people, are those examples?
Those are exactly what, so minimum wage is currently, I think, $14.49 right now for Washington State. So, you know, you definitely have to look at, do an analysis of your wages. Are you in line with the market in your sector? If not, could you increase that? What are your benefits? Are they in line with the market? And, you know, how are you going out there and drawing the talent in?
And you can help them with that analysis.
Yes, so we have partners such as Workforce Central who can provide the labor market analysis. We also have other workforce partners in our community. We're very blessed in Pierce County to have a wide, diverse workforce partnership that can support our employers.
And those are nonprofits as well, resources that are available.
Yes, so nonprofit and government entities.
Right. Yeah, because the city, we just talked to somebody with the city last week who offered a range of things. It's just there's a wealth of resource out there for business and industry in Pierce County. It's really cool. So are you finding that people are responsive, that it's working when you advise them? They suddenly are finding those employees, or? So
they're looking at different, it takes a while for them to get past the we need to change, right? As far as how they're doing their recruiting. But, you know, with some advice and, you know, as they meet with more of our partners who's really in there every day talking to candidates and talking to other employers that are facing the same issues, they tend to adopt some of those changes. So I know that as I go out there, some of the employers have already increased their wages. Some of our sectors have started to offer sign-on bonuses that have never offered sign-on bonuses.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot.
And some flexibility too. They're offering more flexibility in regards to remote work and some of the things that are attractive.
You're primarily focused on business owners, industry people who work with the personnel in larger corporations and so forth. But if I'm watching the show and I'm thinking about looking for a job, there's an important message here for me, isn't there?
Yes. So, you know, I would say, you know, for our folks that are out there looking for employment, you know, really doing your due diligence on that employer. You know, they are interviewing you, but you're also interviewing, you know, that company for a long-term fit, and just making sure that you know, you go into it with the mindset that, you know, this might be, you know, the next opportunity for you. So
having confidence that you know, a lot of people are intimidated going into an interview, but reminding them you're kind of in the driver's seat here.
You know, they are in the driver's seat.
A little bit anyway.
You know, they are in the driver's seat, but you know, having a job is also, I think, a privilege as well, right? So, and you know, as you grow professionally with your career, they are in the driver's seat, but you know, finding that right fit, I think, is also important. Culture fit and the employer. So
this is good advice for employers and employees,
yes,
and really interesting to learn about all you do. So before we go, would you like to talk about any of the other services that you provide, or about what the Economic Development Board does for our community?
Yeah, so so the EDB, you know, really is here to support our local business community and also our overall community, encourage job growth and investment. So we've been working on just recruiting new companies and expanding the ones that are already here, and just being there as a resource for our local community. So I'm really honored and proud to have the opportunity to serve in that capacity. It's been really fun to kind of see the ebbs and flow as the cycle.
I was going to use the word fun because you work with CEOs. One day you're with a big company that ships across the world. The next day you're with a small company that's serving their local community.
Yes, and doing plant tours or just going out there and seeing the business itself. It's you know, for me, I enjoy going out there and meeting those business owners in person and seeing, you know, what excites them, you know, for their business. So it's fun.
And you bring that back to the larger EDB, whose job it is to share a story about Tacoma and Pierce County with the world, to help bring those other businesses here. Say, hey, this is a great place. You get to work with people like Maddie, and also look at all that's happening here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, fascinating. Well, I'm certainly proud to be here, and hearing about what you do and all of these resources makes me glad that I live and work in Tacoma and Pierce County. So, so Maddie, really appreciate you being here today.
Well, thank you, Mike. I really appreciate having the opportunity to come on the show as well.